getting you ready for game time. Join me, Sal from Behind New York Basketball, as I announce play-by-play. Make sure to smash the like and subscribe, because now we're about to go live. Entering the pregame, we now present Sal from Behind New York Basketball. And what's good, everybody? Welcome back in. Thanks so much all for stopping by tonight, being a part here on the stream. Covering play-by-play a couple minutes from now. We're going to tip off between Iowa State taking on Kansas. Big 12 semifinal matchup for the Big 12 Conference Tournament. This is game number 1 in the semifinals tonight. The winner of this matchup will take on the winner of TCU versus Texas later today in the nightcap at 9:30 p.m. If you guys are new in the stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe, as we're going to be rolling in a couple minutes from now. Kansas, the overall number 1 seed for the Big 12 Conference Tournament. Iowa State at the number 5 seed. Iowa State sweeping Baylor this year, going 3-0 against Baylor's Iowa State. Back-to-back wins over Baylor, won yesterday in the 5 versus 4 game, 78-72. Kansas winning over West Virginia yesterday, 78-61. Sending prayers here, thoughts out to head coach Bill Self for Kansas, as he has been right now due to a medical procedure in the hospital, according to sources, and he will not be coaching his team for the remaining part of the Big 12 Conference Tournament. Not sure yet about the NCAA tournament for the head coach for the defending champions. Kansas City, Missouri, T-Mobile Center for this one. Renee, Laszlo, welcome in. Thanks so much all for stopping by. Wow, so Kansas just 1-3 in the Big 12 tournament against Iowa State, from what you heard there. Wow, yeah, this Iowa State team just shocking a lot of people. They lost their number 3 scorer, Caleb Grill, last week, and I think everybody thought that they just completely fall apart, but they're one of the best defensive units in all of college hoops for Iowa State. They're going to see if they can muddy up this matchup and just play Kansas close throughout this game. Kansas got more quad 1 victories than anyone in the nation this season for the defending champions. I thought by now that they'd be the overall number 1 seed in the bracket because of how difficult of a schedule they played. They played the toughest schedule in all of college basketball. They're led by Jalen Wilson, All-American, top 5 player in the nation for Jalen Wilson. Absolute bucket this season. Hey, there we go. Thanks so much for the update, Laszlo. That's great to see there. So Bill Self looks like he's doing pretty good now. So sent a video message out to his team this morning. That's awesome, man. We'll keep you guys updated throughout scores throughout college hoops. A lot of great games going on. Penn State Northwestern, that game just tipped off a couple minutes ago, and Penn State up to an 11-10 lead early on in that matchup. They're currently on the bubble. I believe they should be in, though, for Penn State. They beat Illinois last night, so they should be into the tournament. UConn-Marquette, major matchup there. Marquette, top team in the Big East this season. UConn playing lights out as of late. It's a really good matchup. UConn leading 24-21. And Toledo about to wrap up against Ohio. Toledo's red hot out of the MAC, as they will take on, I believe it's Kent State. If they haven't played that game already, though, that's what I'm just looking up to see. But Kent State out of the MAC is one of the other top teams from that conference. Yeah, Kent State Akron, the winner of that game. So it could be the top defensive unit in the MAC. Kent State going up against the top offensive unit, a top 5 offense with Toledo. That could be the matchup if Kent State wins tonight. Okay, so here we go. We tip off in this matchup. Kansas, white uniforms, blue numbers, blue letters, left to right in the floor for the Jayhawks. They have it first. Iowa State goes in the maroon jerseys tonight. Yellow numbers, yellow letters for the Cyclones as we are underway. Kansas controls the opening tip. Jalen Wilson double teamed to the baseline, gets the pass along to KJ Adams. Adams floats up the pass over to DeJuan Harris as he puts up the shot and scores at the right block for 2. DeJuan Harris is such a key cog with his team this season, an incredible leader on the floor with all his experience. Last year's NCAA tournament team for the point guard. And yeah, this Kansas team They are just loaded with experience, and they love the challenge. Every single team that brings to them, they're always hunting down the defending champions. Iowa State first possession. Handoff for a deep 2, and that's good for Iowa State. Number 3, Tamin Lipsey. Known as a defensive player in this team. Top ball stealer this season for Iowa State, but comes out with a deep 2. I'm going to go UConn in that game. Yeah, UConn's been peaking once again. They're starting to hit their stride once again. Vegas, Daniel, welcome back in the stream, guys. Kansas second possession, 18:40 left to go in the first. Ball deflected, far side of the floor, picked up, though, by Grady Dick. Passes to the far side over to Jalen Wilson. Wilson jacks up a deep 3. Oh, man, he connects with it. That's elite shot-making abilities right there by Jalen Wilson from downtown as he knocks down a deep-range 3. Hot start so far in this game, 22-11 against West Virginia yesterday for Jalen Wilson. Iowa State possession number 2. Jared Holmes transfer from St. Bonaventure as there's an offensive foul. Gabe Kalsher running right into DeJuan Harris, and that will be charged to Kalsher. Kalsher was the key player yesterday in the victory for Iowa State over Baylor. They put up 78 points yesterday. The Iowa State team that's ranking at the bottom in the conference in scoring, but Baylor's been struggling defensively this season. Iowa State forced the pressure. Kansas able to get past it. Wilson, open 3, connects on another one. Man, Jalen Wilson, he is feeling it right now from the floor. All KU. 6 points of the 8 so far. First 2 minutes, that's a huge sign. Jalen Wilson's carried this team all season long. If they can get other players to step up, that is massive. At the free throw circle with Iowa State, they move it back out to the perimeter. Jared Holmes. Bounce pass, right corner, back outside of Holmes. They move it out to the left baseline. Jumper by Lipsey, no good, missed short. Offensive rebound back to Lipsey. To the top, straightaway 3, swoosh by Kalsher. Wow, Tamin Lipsey able to come in for the offensive rebound. Snuck his way between a couple of Kansas players. Able to save that possession for Iowa State. This is a great physical matchup between these two teams. Iowa State, they really challenged Baylor yesterday to their physicality in the floor. Mystery by Dick, lob down low, inside the low post, and that is good up and in off the glass for Iowa State. 1-point game. It's number 0, Trey King III. So right back they go, their first 2 points in the paint tonight. Alex, welcome in. Thanks so much for joining in. Yes, I think TCU could realistically beat Texas. Texas without one of their key players once again today as Jalen Wilson takes a deep 2 and connects on it. Man, he is feeling it. 8 of the 10 so far by Wilson. Timmy Allen not playing tonight for Texas. Texas really just stepping up defensively. That defense is locked. They are loaded for Texas. Their offense is like a nails on chalkboard, though, in the last game. But Oklahoma State's a really solid defensive team, and they limited Texas as much as possible yesterday. But I think today we're going to see a fast TCU team. TCU has been struggling with consistency for them, but I think they're going to take advantage that Timmy Allen's out of that game, and also I like TCU on the glass tonight too. That team's physical. That team can wear you down on the glass, even without Eddie Lampkin. That was a 13-point win yesterday for TCU, and that game was pretty much fun yesterday. It didn't feel like that because of the pace that both of the teams played in, and TCU started to find their rhythm from 3. Look at that. Jalen Wilson, 3 for 3 from downtown, drills another triple. He's got 11 points to the 13 so far for Kansas, single-handedly outscoring Iowa State. Iowa State with the ball top of the key, Osun Ashuni. Transfer from St. Bonaventure, same as his teammate in the starting 5, Jaron Holmes. Demarion Watson, number 4, pass, cross-court, dangerous, able to get into the hands of Kalsher, got blocked from behind, gets it back. Kalsher dribbles, drives inside to Keon Harris with a left hand, missed off the glass, tipped up, offensive rebound, Ashuni missed around the rim and out, and Kansas comes out with a defensive board. Here goes Kansas looking to push it. Harris out to the wing, Wilson catching fire 3. He's hot, missed it off the front rim that time though. Patrick, welcome in. Thanks so much for stopping by, man. 15-15 left to go in the first. Pass off the roll down to Ashuni. Missed off the back rim. Offensive rebound. Second chance by him and gets to the drop. So Osun Ashuni on the board now for Iowa State. credit out to their head coach, TJ Otzelberger for Iowa State. Back-to-back years putting this team inside the top 25 when a lot of people just counted them completely out during the regular season, like before the season even started. That when you look at the team on paper, there's not much there, as in terms of like key talent or so, that but when they put it all together, everything just came together so well once again. In their defense, they know their identity. Their identity is defense for this Iowa State team. They can wear you down, and they will try to muddy it up as much as possible to just make this a game. And right now they're hanging in, even though it's been a one-man show so far for Kansas. Jalen Wilson, 11 of the 13 points. Kansas needs other players to get involved, though. Iowa State with 9 on the board, spreading it out. 3 by Gabe Kalsher, 2 each by Lipsy and Trey King. Oshuni with a 2 as we take the first time out of the game. What's good, Will? Welcome to the stream once again, man. Thanks so much all for dropping by. Feel free to join the Behind the Arc Basketball Bracket Challenge group if you guys are interested. That link is posted in the chat. March Madness Selection Sunday almost here. Sunday at 6 p.m. We'll have the Selection Sunday show. I'll be doing my live reactions on Sunday. Brackets will be revealed, and then the brackets will be locked around Thursday about noontime. The brackets will lock. So Thursday around 12 p.m. right before the first round. I'll be covering 2 streams tonight. I'll also be covering the winner, or I'll also be covering Texas versus TCU later tonight, the 2 versus the 6. And feel free to join in tomorrow. I plan on being back for both the Big 12 and ACC tournament championships tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, hoping to cover the SEC, Big 10, and Selection Sunday live streams. A lot of great basketball going on right now. UConn leading Marquette 30-28 with under 4 minutes left to go in the first half. 2 other great games going on alongside this game currently tonight. Texas A&M taking on Arkansas. The score there 6-6 through the first 4.5 minutes. And Duke Miami to the first 4.5 as well. They are tied at 7-7. So great matchups all across the board we have today. Toledo winners today over Ohio. Toledo will take on the winner of Akron versus Kent State in the MAC tournament tomorrow. Northwestern leading Penn State 18-16. And Memphis has a 9-8 lead over UCF. By the way, Iona struggling right now. Iona's the top seed in the MAAC. They are struggling, losing by 2 against Niagara, 41-39. Iona right now projected as a number 13 seed if they come out of their conference. Hey, thanks so much, Laszlo, for being a part of the stream once again, man. Renee, welcome back in. Things going pretty well. Paulie, welcome on board. All right, so we come right back from the timeouts. Kansas with possession. KJ Adams dribbles up to the free throw circle, puts it out to DeJuan Harris. Bounce pass off the roll down. Adams driving right to the bucket. Count it in the foul. Off the pick and roll. Harris with an assist. Adams with a basket. +1 coming up at the free throw line. So big news there. Able to get somebody else other than Jalen Wilson to get on the scoreboard. Just executed perfectly off the roll down by KJ. One shot at the line, missed off the rim by Adams. Rebound controlled by Iowa State. Jared Holmes dribbles past midcourt, guarded by McCullough at the right wing now. Holmes, lob, backdoor, wasn't handled properly, though, by Oshuni behind the defense. That was 2 points given off the board. There goes Kansas on the opposite side. That's how you execute perfectly. bringing it energy. KJ Adams with an alley-oop throwdown, back-to-back assists by Dwan Harris. 14 minutes left to go in the first. Iowa State will try it again. Top of the key, Jaron Holmes. Should have been a 15-11 game if they had made that alley-oop prior to before. Three-point shot straight away is a make, though, by Holmes. Iowa State with some big shots hanging in right now. Not known as an efficient team this season through their defense. Kansas, a scoring machine right out of the gate. Grady Dick with a three. Missed off the rim as it went off to the top of the glass. Rebounded by the Cyclones. 13.5 left to go. Holmes dribbles up into the key towards his left. Holmes looking to pass it. We have a whistle. And a foul picked up by Kansas. First one of the game. Charge to the Jayhawks as the clock will stop with 13.5. Yeah, things going pretty well. Solid start tonight. Jalen Wilson been a go-to for Kansas. Dwan Harris, 2 assists. KJ Adams bringing the explosiveness so far. Personal foul picked up by Kevin McCullough. 13:28 left to go in the first. Inbound coming up for Iowa State. Goes out to the corner to Kalsher. Kalsher passes out to his right around the perimeter to Lipsy. Lipsy at the top of the key. Drives downhill on the Wilson. Moves it out to the top once again as they will attack inside the paint. And that will be a shooting foul picked up by Joseph Yesufu. So this will be 2 free throws coming up at the line for Iowa State. Oink, oink. Welcome to be back on the stream. Really good pace so far in this game right now. First free throw missed at the line for the Cyclones. That was off the mark by Eli King. King with his second free throw. That missed short. So free throws have been a struggle so far. That trip at the free throw line, now they're 0 for 2 to start things off for Iowa State. 13 minutes left to go in the first. Harris slows it down for Kansas. Guarded by Kalsher. Pick set by MJ Rice. Swings it cross court from Harris to Wilson. To Wilson. Floats with the shot inside the key. Gets to the drop. Jalen Wilson, a monster bucket. After bucket in this game. He's got 13 points single-handedly outscoring Iowa State. Cyclones have it. 12:40 left to go in the first. Hasten Ward, number 24, first time into the game. Kalsher dribbles up to the elbow. Kalsher with a 2, missed off the back rim, tipped up to the perimeter. Loose ball as we try to see who scooped it up. It was Lipsy for a moment. Lipsy gave it away, though. Still a loose ball around the midcourt logo. Far side of the floor. Wilson comes out of the pack with it for a moment. He lost it. Back into the hands to Lipsy. Lipsy for Iowa State. Now he slows it down. 12:10 left to go. His back and forth, trying to scramble for the 50-50 ball. Backdoor roll down, and now go down by Hasten Ward. They almost missed an alley-oop opportunity again by Iowa State that time. Able to get a lucky bounce off the rim, and Hasten Ward gets credit for the 2. 12 minutes left to go in the first. Already 1 missed alley-oop opportunity for Iowa State off the fingertips of Ashuni, as we will have a timeout here taken on the floor. 11:49 left to go. Timeout taken on the courts by Kansas. As they have a 5-point lead, we head to the timeout, and Jalen Wilson with 13 points on the board. Yeah, Grady Dick is like the big go-to perimeter shooter for this team. He's yet to get going so far in this game for Grady Dick. Right now, 0 for 2 from 3. Jalen Wilson it's been his show tonight so far in this matchup. Bryce, welcome back in, man. Both teams coming out, they're shooting the basketball well. I thought this would be like an under type of game, but right now this is playing to the favor for Kansas, considering that Iowa State has struggled this year with their offense. They're more of a defensive-minded type of team. One of the best when it comes to fewest points allowed this season, but Kansas just making their shots right now with Jalen Wilson. Iowa State's hanging in this game on the glass. They're tripling Kansas on the glass right now, 9-3. Kansas making the majority of their shots, but Iowa State's 5-1 on offensive rebounds, so keeping those possessions alive for Iowa State, which has been key to help them keep them in this game. Duke looks like they're surging at the right time. 14-9, Duke with a lead over Miami. Arkansas leading Texas A&M 18-10. Arkansas, they got the talent to put it together for Arkansas. If they come out with a victory today over Texas A&M, that's huge. As Texas A&M had been playing lights out, like the last 2 months or so. Texas A&M has a 17-3 record in their last 20 games. Marquette, UConn. That's an elite matchup right there. 36-35 Marquette with about a minute left to go in the first half. Hey, there you go, Bryce. You're going to watch this stream, looks like. Getting some McDonald's. Yeah, Alabama 72, Mississippi State 49. Mississippi State going to have to wait to see if they're even in the bracket. That's a bad loss today. If they played it close, they should be in the bracket if they had played that game close, but they got crushed today, which that's tough for Mississippi State. That's just one of those matchups there that Mississippi State can't have. Alabama just so explosive with their offense. They have shooters all over the floor, whereas Mississippi State, they just struggle to score for them. They're just not efficient. They can't hit a three. It's all about their defense for Mississippi State. They're top 10 in fewest points allowed. They're just a one-sided team. They're similar to St. Mary's, except bigger and more physical for Mississippi State. We get back to action. Kansas with the ball. Juwan Harris over to Joseph Yesufu. Yesufu. Kick out to the corner. Deflected out of bounds by Jaron Holmes at Iowa State. So he's going to stay Kansas ball with 11:35 in the first. Sports Dude, welcome back in the stream. Glad to have you back in the stream. Dr. G, welcome back in. 5 in the shot clock. Inbound for Kansas. Harris. Dribble drive attacks. Lost it. Poke loose with 1 in the shot clock. It will stay Kansas basketball. So Jalen Wilson, he's got 13 points in the 19 so far. He's currently on the bench at the moment, though, getting some rest. Inbound with 1 in the shot clock. We'll see what Kansas draws up here. Harris, the inbound passer. Harris, lob deflected, and it will go to Iowa State for the steal. Iowa State, a scrappy defensive team this season. Top of the Big 12 in steals per game. Big 12 tournaments in Kansas City, Missouri. Tamin Lipsey passes over to Trey King. King defended by Ernest Uday. Down the side of the low post. King puts it up and scores up and in off the glass. They're hanging in right now. Trey King with 4. So we have 11 minutes left to go in the first. They need offense besides Wilson. McCullough jacks up the 3. McCullough sinks it through. That's good for Kevin McCullough. Kansas right now just providing all the answers to Iowa State. Big time shot after big time shot. Cyclones take it past midcourt with Jaron Holmes. Holmes off to Trey King. Back into the hands to Holmes now. Defended by MJ Rice at the top. Holmes. Drives, kicks at the baseline. Tamin Lipsey. Over to Holmes now. Holmes inside the key. Holmes flings it out to the top. We get a whistle. And we have a reach and fall picked up by Kansas. Clock will stop with 10:19. So not a whole lot of fouls so far. That's only Kansas's second personal foul. That's charged to MJ Rice. his first personal. They're actually going to get him on the shot. Wow, so they did not get him back on the pass to the perimeter. They got Jaron Holmes in a shooting attempt. So this will send Holmes to the free throw line, shooting 2 for Iowa State. First one's good. And here comes back Jalen Wilson. So they're going to have 3 different players come into the game now. So DeJuan Harris will substitute out. Jalen Wilson, he's one of the 3 players that comes back in for Kansas. There'll be one more free throw coming up by Iowa State. So Jalen Wilson, MJ Rice, Bobby Pettiford, first time onto the floor today, number 0 for Kansas. Second one skipped around and it's in. McCullough and KJ Adams also on the floor for Kansas. 4-point game, 10-15 left to go in the first. Kansas with the ball. Wilson will take it past the midcourt logo. So DeJuan Harris currently out on the bench. They have Bobby Pettiford running the point for KU. Pettiford, bounce pass, finds McCullough at the left wing. McCullough towards his right, gives it over to Adams. Adams passes over to the corner. Pettiford turns the corner as he will dribble back outside to the perimeter. Over to Wilson, 6 on the shot clock. Wilson caught in the offensive foul, pushed off at the top, and that's a charge taken by Gabe Coucher. So Iowa State hanging in tough right now in this matchup for the Cyclones. Really, really physical Iowa State type of team. Jalen Wilson, that is his first personal foul of the game. Chicago Bulls 1-2-3, welcome back in. Yes, I plan on streaming the Big Ten Championship on Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. If Ohio State gets past Purdue tomorrow, oh boy. Ohio State, a 13 seed. Ohio State's beaten the 12 seed. They beat in the 5. They beat in the 4 today with Michigan State. And now they're going to take on Purdue tomorrow. Absolutely wild. 13 seeded Ohio State. And Penn State's the 10 seed in the bracket. They're playing right now against the 2 Northwestern, which is kind of stunning that I'm even saying Northwestern's the 2 seed in that tournament. 9:45 left to go in the first. Iowa State with the ball. Kalsher receives the pass, drives baseline. Kalsher goes backdoor, tough shot, missed off the glass. Defensive rebound, hauled through traffic by Grady Dick. It's a big, strong rebound pulled down by Dick right there. Pettiford at the edge of the Big 12 logo. Pettiford dribbles up to the free throw circle, moves it off to Adams, passes back outside to Wilson. Wilson swings it cross court over to McCullough. McCullough, 10 on the shot clock. McCullough, crossover, dribbles inside the key. Had a poke loose from behind. He got fouled though. They will call that a foul picked up by Iowa State. I believe it's on the shot, so it should be 2 coming up at the free throw line by Kevin McCullough. So it will be 2 at the free throw line. First one's good. 23-18. Yeah. There's 2 really, really good players for Indiana. Trace Jackson Davis. And then Jalen Hood-Schifino. They've struggled with opponent speed this year for them. All they do is attempt 2-point shots. Like, they barely attempt threes for Indiana. And they've struggled at times to defend the 3. Yeah, it wouldn't be a shock to me if Maryland wins tonight over Indiana. I know a lot of people are going to act shocked about it, but it wouldn't even shock me if Indiana loses first round if they draw like Toledo, because Toledo is a team that uses fast tempo. Whoever wins that MAC, watch out. Toledo advanced. They won today. Kent State, they play close games against Houston and Gonzaga. It's going to be some really good mid-major seeds in this bracket this year. As the pass gets thrown too long, it's out of bounds by Iowa State. So that's the 8th turnover to game by Iowa State right now. 8:28 left to go in the first. This has been just a really good physical type of battle here. Kansas up by 5. Iowa State just hanging in all throughout the matchup. DeJuan Harris shovels down low. Two-handed jam thrown down by Kevin McCullough. McCullough now up to 6 points. So after a slow start in this game for Kansas, where it's just Jalen Wilson, that's a bad turnover for Iowa State. Entry pass, nobody there. They go in the break. This is where Kansas excels. Dick, knocked down, stripped. No fall call, though. It's going to stay Kansas basketball. Couple tough turnovers by Iowa State as of late. It's giving Kansas the opportunity to open up this matchup right now. 25-18, 8 minutes left to go in the first as we take a timeout on the floor. What's good, Joe? Welcome back on the stream, man. Things going pretty well. 30 plus watching right now. If you guys are new, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. I cover basketball action on the channel, play-by-play, both the college basketball games, also NBA games as well. And if you guys are interested, feel free to join the Behind Your Basketball Bracket Challenge group. Once again, that link is posted in the chat, pinned in the chat as well if anybody's interested in doing the Bracket Challenge group once again for this year. The turnovers right now have just been crushing Iowa State. 9 turnovers. Not many fouls. It's been a pretty fast first half. 4 personal fouls each for both of these teams. Nobody in deep foul trouble currently. Kansas with just 4 turnovers so far. Kansas racking up 5 steals as a team. Iowa State leading the conference in steals per game. They've recorded 3 so far right now, but it's just you got one player that's hot for Kansas right at the start. Jalen Wilson, 13 points, 5 of 7 shooting. Iowa State yet to match that. They've been able to be more balanced, but nobody's been able to take over for the Cyclones. Top scorer, 5 points for Iowa State with Jared Holmes. Yeah, Michigan State lost to Ohio State. Crazy. I feel like a lot of people just think that Michigan State's going to turn the corner. What that message said to me today that Ohio State won, it says Michigan State has failed you, and Michigan State's going to be the team that loses to Florida Atlantic in the first round. I've just waited for it. I've kept on waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting the whole year for Michigan State to break out. Looked like they had an opportunity to break out for them. They've been hot from 3 entering today's game. And that Bryce Sensabaugh, the top scorer for Ohio State, doesn't even play today, and they lose by double digits. How could you not show up for the conference tournament? That's Tom Izzo's squad. The month is now. The month of March. So much to Izzo. And it's just shocking from Michigan State. They play one of the toughest schedules in the nation. They're a team that I've kept my eye on. The backcourt has looked really good at times. It's sparkled with Tyson Walker, A.J. Hoggard. They just cannot pull out close games. That's been a problem for them this season. Just crunch time, just haven't been able to pull out those close games for Michigan State. So we got 7:55 left to go. We're going to get back to action in just a moment. A couple other scoreboard updates right now. Duke leading Miami 31-30. Arkansas leading Texas A&M 23-14. What a statement start for Arkansas. Inbound to the corner for Jalen Wilson. Wilson with 13 passes over to KJ Adams. Now on top to McCullough. McCullough swings it out to the right corner to Grady Dick. And we have a whistle and a foul picked up by Iowa State. As they reach in, they pick up personal foul number 5. And that's charged to Aljaz Kuntz. Picks up his second personal foul. Kansas will get the inbound underneath their hoop. Inbound passer, DeJuan Harris. And another quick whistle off the inbound. Once again, Iowa State picks up a reach-in. So back-to-back personal fouls by the Cyclones, and they got 6 now as a team, and that's charged to Kuntz again. That's number 3. Yikes, that is not called high IQ basketball there. Aljaz Kuntz heading towards the bench. 3 personal fouls back-to-back. Not even like 5 seconds back from the TV timeout. Oh, man. 7:45 left to go. Kansas, bad turnover. Pass too tall for DeJuan Harris out in the corner as it was sent out of bounds. That was by KJ Adams. His pass was sent too tall. Kansas feeling it from the floor. 10 of 14 shooting Iowa State. Or 10 of 15 by Kansas. 7 of 14 from the floor for Iowa State so far. Entry pass down low. Hasten Ward gets contacted by McCullough. So this is going to be choppy as of late now. Kevin McCullough will have to check out of the game as he heads towards the bench. McCullough picks up his second personal foul. Looks like MJ Rice will come on the floor now for Kansas. So 7.5 left to go. McCullough on the bench. MJ Rice coming in, number 11. Inbound out to the baseline jumper. Kalsher missed off the rim, and the rebound controlled by Wilson. Iowa State on a 3-minute and 45-second field goal drought right now. Harris at the top of the key for Kansas. Bounce pass to Adams. Adams lobs it over to Wilson. Wilson at the right baseline. Wilson double teamed. Wilson now working on one defender. It's Holmes. Pass on the top. They move it out to the left corner. 3 in the air. MJ Rice missed off the back rim. Offensive rebound out in the open. Grady Dick gets clobbered, and he'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. Nobody there for Iowa State to bounce to box out Grady Dick. He was just completely open at the low right block for the offensive rebound. Got clobbered on the putback as he'll shoot 2 at the line. First one's good. Hey, I hear you there, Renee. So I hear that you've been busy today. Second one's good. Seven minutes left to go. Scoring drought of above 4 minutes for Iowa State. Corner 3 missed off the rim for the Cyclones. They've gone cold lately. Just haven't been able to snap it. MJ Rice attacks, gets called an offensive foul. Taking charges, keeping Iowa State in this game right now. Demarion Watson comes in, takes the charge. Six and a half left to go. Iowa State pass midcourt. They're on an almost 5-minute field goal drought right now for the Cyclones. Lob goes to the low left block. Trey King backs his way. Turnaround jumper at the baseline. That missed poorly. Off his teammate out of bounds. Ashuni could not save it. Yeah, they've had some coordination problems in this game for Iowa State. They've just bobbled a couple passes down low. There's been some coordination problems in this game for this team. Wilson, or that's Harris past midcourt for Kansas. 6:10 left to go now. So the Jayhawks have it. Dewan Harris going to slow it down around the Phillips 66 logo. Moves on top to Rice. Now Dick gets a touch. Dick drives baseline. Double team puts up the shot. Off the rim twice. No good. And Ashuni collects the defensive rebound. What's good? Salvador Chavez. Welcome to the stream, man. 6 minutes left to go before halftime. Iowa State just looking to get on the scoreboard. 5.5 minute scoring drought almost until that. Ashuni backs his way low post with a turnaround, banks it up and in off the glass. So they start to hammer their way right now inside the low post for Iowa State. 7-point game, 5:30 left to go. Wide open three. Kansas couldn't convert on it. They had a clear look. That was no good from the top by Joseph Yesufu. Holmes, pass over to Kalsher. Kalsher off the catch. Kalsher drills the three. Wow, he was huge yesterday. It's a big-time shot. He's only attempted... That's his third three-point attempt of the game for Gabe Kalsher. Yeah, he's attempted the most shots. He's now 2 for 7 from the floor for Kalsher. So he had a cold start to this game, but that's a major shot right there. Harris, little floater inside the lane, drops it down. Under 5 minutes left to go in the first. Harris just so smart with his shot selection. Doesn't attempt many shots, but when he does, it's when the defense just offers him that type of shot. Lob down to the low block. Ashuni gets double teamed. Ashuni lost it. Turnover. Grady Dick comes up with a steal from behind. They look to space it. 3-on-2 right to the rim. Harris missed off the glass. Got contacted though and fouled. And 2 shots coming up to the free throw line for Dewan Harris with 4:29 left to go. It's been a great matchup so far. Iowa State just, the carelessness so far with the basketball is just taking a toll along with the scoring drought for them. But still, they're just hanging on in this game. Harris shooting 2. Harris missed the first one. Yes, I think Kentucky will beat Vandy tonight. Yeah, Vandy's been hot, but Kentucky's looking solid themselves lately. I'm stunned by this score. Arkansas 29, Texas A&M 17. Texas A&M have been playing lights out for them. But this is March. Arkansas gets going during March. Harris, empty at the free throw line. He went 0 for 2 for Kansas. Rebound by Iowa State. 4:15 left to go. Cyclones have it on the outside with Kalsher. Lobs it over to Trey King. King bulldozes his way over Grady Dick, called in the offensive foul. Turnover's been a major issue as Iowa State does it again. That's number 11 in the first half now for the Cyclones. Trey King just pushes off on Grady Dick inside the key. Kevin, welcome in. Four minutes left to go as we approach the mark. Full court pressure by Iowa State. Kansas able to cross midcourt. Bobby Pettiford, edge of the midcourt logo. 15 on the shot clock for KU. Pettiford has on the floor Grady Dick, KJ Adams, Jalen Wilson, and Joseph Yesufu. Harris currently on the bench. Wilson draws a double team in the corner. Wilson's trapped. Wilson 2 on the shot clock, has to get it off. Lost it, turns it over. Tough play right there for Kansas. So Wilson slipped. Far side of the floor, able to get up, but Iowa State, perfect trap they set up at the far side corner of the floor. Right now, their defense keeping them right in this game, forcing a couple big stops lately. 29-23 the score. We're going to take the timeout. 3:40 left to go before halftime. A physical type of battle so far between these two teams. What's good, Ryan? Welcome back in, man. Do I think Ohio State is in? No. Ohio State's got a losing record. Ohio State needs to win the Big Ten tournament title. That's the only way they can get there, is winning the last conference tournament on Sunday. They're going to have to win as a 13 seed. The sad part about it was that Michigan State lost today by double digits, and the top scorer, Bryce Sensabaugh, did not play. 68-58. Ohio State won. Scoreboard update right now is UConn and Marquette currently at halftime, tied up at 38. Arkansas, Texas A&M getting on a 4-zip run, so they're making it closer, 29-21. Arkansas surviving yesterday against Auburn. They choked it late against Auburn, but able to still pull out the victory yesterday. Duke, 1-point lead over Miami, 33-32. Penn State leading Northwestern. Doesn't shock me there. Penn State's the 2 seed. Northwestern, Penn State's the 10 seed. Northwestern's the 2. It's crazy. Both of those teams, Penn State and Northwestern, kind of have similar, if not identical or close records to each other. For Penn State and Northwestern, yet here's Penn State projected as a 10 seed in the bracket. Here's Northwestern projected as a 6. It's crazy. This is the Northwestern team that lost by 31 against Pitt. Memphis up over UCF 37-30. Iona leading Niagara 60-50. Yeah, I think Northwestern gets upset first rounds. They've been overseeded ever since they beat Purdue. They've just been hyped up for that, for winning against Purdue. Took Purdue a little bit of time to settle in against Rutgers today as well. What's good, R? Welcome back in the stream. All right, so they break the timeout huddle right now. 3:40 left to go. Jalen Wilson, a hot start for him. He got 13 points. He single-handedly outscored Iowa State in the first couple minutes of this game. He had 13 points when Iowa State had, I believe, 11 on the scoreboard. Iowa State's made 9 shots. They've turned it over 11 times. So just like Kansas State yesterday, who struggled with turnovers, Iowa State so far in this game really struggling right now as the layup is missed by Gabe Kalsher. Kansas with the ball. Yesufu at the top of the key. It's Pettiford, number 0. Bounce pass, too strong. Missed the mark on Yesufu, who is cutting baseline to the hoop, and it's out of bounds. A turnover by Pettiford. 3:15 left to go in the first. Iowa State just hanging in this matchup. Like, right now they've turned it over 11 times, but they're still in this game currently. Yeah, that's right. Yesterday, Oklahoma State, a lot of bad turnovers. Turnover issues have been, like, it's dictated the outcome so far in this Big 12 tournament. Runner inside the key, missed off the mark by Kalsher. Defensive rebound pulled down by Kansas. I think if Iowa State or Kansas State, whoever gets Drake is in some big, deep trouble. If you're struggling with turnover issues, if you're a 5 seed, I'm not sure if K-State's going to drop back to a 5, but if you're a 5 seed out there, and if you have turnover issues, looking at Drake's past 10 games in their game log, they've barely turned over the basketball. That's a team that's going to cause problems if you struggle with a basketball. You just cannot win the turnover battle against that team. Wilson, tough shot. The shot clock winding down, hit the top of the glass, and it gets rebounded by Iowa State. 2 minutes left to go. Bounce pass down low, bobbled, able to pick it up, and Iowa State scores, number 12 for the Cyclones, and a 2-1 inside, Robert Jones. So Kansas lately has gone cold. It's only a 4-point game, and now the Jayhawks will talk about it. So timeout taken on the floor by Kansas with 1:50 left to play in the first. Yeah, there's there's a metric that says who has like the highest turnover ratio in college basketball. I want to see if I can get up that metric because, yeah, a lot of the teams that get doomed in the tournament, those are the teams that turn it over a ton. Turnover percentage rate, that's what it's called. So that's based on the percentage of possessions to turnover percentage rate. So it's not like turnover per games, but on this ranking it tells you like turnover percentage rate, and you can clearly see the teams that are struggling are teams at the bottom this year in college hoops, like Louisville. Ranks at the very bottom, 352nd in turnover percentage, which is worst among Power 5 schools this season. We're back to action, 1:40 left to go. Wilson backdoor missed the layup as Iowa State comes out with a defensive board. Let's see if there's anybody recent in the tournament that turns it over a lot. Oklahoma State's around 320 in that mark in turnover percentage this season. So Oklahoma State, who's right now in the bubble, very, very high in tournament turnover percentage this season. Harris at the wing. 1:10 left to go before halftime. Kansas 4-point lead. At the left wing perimeter, Harris. I had predicted Miami from a couple of days ago. Honestly, would not be shocked if Duke wins that game, and I think Duke has a good chance to doing so today. Looks like everything's coming full circle right now for Duke. Looking back on their performance yesterday, they're hot at the right time. A lob down low. Jalen Wilson gets the basket with 53 seconds left to go and a timeout on the floor. Jalen Wilson, half of the points almost so far for Kansas today. 15 of the 31 with 53 seconds left to go before halftime. Let's see. Turnover percentage. There you go. K-State. K-State turnover percentage 290. They are tied at 297 for K-State. They turn over the basketball around 20% of their possessions for K-State. VCU, high turnover percentage. North Texas, high turnover percentage. Even though it doesn't look like that, they turned it over above 11 times per game for North Texas. Well, guess what? They attempt the fewest shots out of anybody. They have the slowest tempo offense in all college hoops. So if you're a team that averages like 9 turnovers per game, like say like a Virginia or like Iowa, then here's a team that North Texas, there's a reason why they were down 24-2 today against UAB. That North Texas team just simply couldn't score, and when you turn it over majority of their possessions, that's tough. Back from the timeout, Kansas on the fast break off the turnover by Iowa State, takes it home with a two-handed flush. 33-25, 30 seconds left to go, bringing the energy in the halftime here for KU. Mario, welcome back in. Thanks so much for joining in, bud. 20 seconds left to go. Iowa State just looking for something here to get them a little bit of momentum. Yeah, UAB beat Florida Atlantic earlier this season. They split the series. Florida Atlantic won the first game, I believe, by 2, and then UAB won the second game by a larger margin. Missed shot off the top of the glass by Iowa State. Jumper at the buzzer, missed off the top of the backboard by Jalen Wilson. And we go into halftime. It's Kansas by 8, 33-25. Halftime here in this game. Turnover's been a major issue so far, just like the other two Big 12 matchups. That's dictated the outcome so far today. Also, Jalen Wilson just getting buckets. 15 of the 33 through Wilson. 6 points each by KJ Adams and Kevin McCullough. 4 points by Dwan Harris with 3 assists. 2 by Grady Dick. He's yet to get going, though, He's 0 for 3 shooting, 0 for 2 from 3 for Grady Dick. But still, Kansas shooting the ball 54% from the floor in the first half against the lights-out Iowa State defense that ranked in defensive efficiency this season. One of the best in the nation. Effective, let's see. KenPom ratings, I'm pretty sure they have one of the top-rated defenses this year for Iowa State. Yes, number 7 ranked defense according to defensive adjusted efficiency for Iowa State. So, according to KenPom, they are the top defense in the Big 12 at number 7 and in the nation behind, according to analytics, Tennessee, UCLA, Alabama, Houston, Rutgers, Mississippi State, and then Iowa State. Yeah, UAB, they're probably going to steal that 12 seed from VCU. I hope they do. I hope UAB at the wins tomorrow and they steal the 12 seed. And VCU will be a great upset pick in the tournament. They have the players in that team. They've got red hot. I believe they're 13-1 in their last 14 games, and they also won 2 Power 5 schools. I know they beat Georgia, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the other one was South Carolina, but still, they beat both of those teams by 14. Like, anytime you beat a Power 5, like, especially when it's at their own facility, own home court, that team's something special. Drake beat Mississippi State when they were ranked. Like, Drake beat a team that's could be in the field, might not be in the field, could be the overall number 1 seed in the NIT. But either way, you pick up a win like that, that's huge for a mid-major. Hey, thanks so much for the updates there. So, we got some scoreboard updates currently right now. Marquette looking good, leading UConn 53-46. Duke up over Miami 41-36. Man, Texas A&M just not showing up in that game today. Arkansas leading Texas A&M 38-25. That score right now is at halftime. Penn State up over Northwestern 41-36. Penn State getting hot at the right time. Kent State looking to play Toledo tomorrow in the MAC final. 10-4. Kent State leading to Akron. And Memphis looking good. They lead UCF at halftime 40-30. Iona only up by 5 against Niagara 64-59 with about a minute and a half left to go. So Rick Pitino and Iona looking to get back to the tournament once again. And he had said before that he's definitely going after another Power 5 head coaching job. There's jobs out there once again. St. John's just opened up as of today. I believe Rick Pitino is the front runner for the St. John's job, which is not too far away from Iona. Just basically in the same area. He's out in Westchester County outside of New York City. Just has to go a little bit further south to get to New York City. And then I think it's, Texas Tech from I heard is interested as well in Rick Pitino. I feel like at the end of it, you got to wait till the tournament if there's power conference programs because these teams are playing in the tournament. But strongly considering Paul Mills out of Oral Roberts. He's the coach right there who should be in consideration for maybe a future job at Texas Tech. What's good, Sarah? Welcome in. Thanks so much for joining in. Yeah, I can picture Oral Roberts going on a run, and then Paul Mills gets the possession for Texas Tech right after the end of the tournament, because we always see like these coaches like last year Shaheen Holloway, just automatically no brainer, Seton Hall job right when they finish the tournament, job's his, St. Peter's to Seton Hall. Kent State will beat Toledo 100-99. Wow. Yeah, I'm interested to see if Kent State can keep up with Toledo. But can Toledo break the defense of Kent State? That's the question. That's going to be a great difference between styles tomorrow if that matchup happens. Right now, things looking that way, 12-8 Kent State. The MAC, like, lately the MAC has always showed up for the tournament. Either has made the games close or at least pulled off the upset. Ohio beat Virginia 2 years ago. I remember there was an Ohio team that got ranked at 15. They shot circles around the 2 seed Georgetown and won. Ron, welcome in. Buffalo beating Arizona. Yeah, the Max had some history breaking brackets before. John, welcome in. Things going pretty well. So right now we're just at halftime currently. 12 turnovers by Kansas State, just really been costing them so far in this game, right? Or by Iowa State really costing them in the game so far today. Jalen Wilson carrying Kansas so far. He's got 15 points. If you guys are new in the stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe here. And also, feel free to join the Behind the Arc Basketball Bracket Challenge group. That link is posted in the chat, pinned in the chat. If you guys are interested in joining the Bracket Challenge group, it's totally free to join. No fee to join. And brackets come out on Selection Sunday. Right around 6:30 p.m. the brackets will be released. And then the brackets will lock on Thursday, right before the first round games around noontime. Feel free to join in for the other game as well tonight. I plan on covering Texas against TCU later tonight for that game. TCU had their season high yesterday. I believe they made 11 3-point shots. What a great time to make their threes for TCU. Texas tonight without Timmy Allen. And Texas yesterday just locked down Oklahoma State. Potential bubble games that we have going on tonight. Quite a bit later as we go on throughout the course of the day. Oregon taking on UCLA. That game will tip off in around an hour from now, as Oregon still in the bubble will most likely have to win the Pac-12 tournament. Oh boy. Norchad Omier injury. That's bad. That's bad for Miami. Norchad Omier injury for the Canes early on in the game against Duke. So a key starter injured, limped off the court, hasn't returned from Miami. Clemson, still on the bubble right now. They have horrendous losses against Louisville, Boston College. Some terrible losses for Clemson. That's the reason why they're still on the bubble. They're taking on Virginia. Clemson's going to be that team that if they don't make it to the tournament, you can think they're easy non-conference schedule because of that. Here's some of their bad losses. At South Carolina, lost against Loyola Chicago by 18. That's just bad. That's a terrible loss to take for Clemson. Boston College, they lost to. Lost by 20 against UNC. Lost against Louisville. Lost against Wake Forest. Those are the bad losses that they got. It hasn't really been able to make up for the quality of victories. They swept NC State 3 times. They've just taken it out on NC State. And then after that, for quality, they did beat Duke. Yeah, they beat Duke at home by 8. They got them early on in the schedule. They beat Pitt by 1. Beat Penn State in double overtime. It was a home game for Clemson. Double overtime, they beat Penn State. But, I mean, Cal, Loyola Chicago losing by 18. That's not going to make up for it for Clemson. They just taken their frustration out on NC State out of all teams, and they still think that they could have a chance for the bracket. Right now they're 23-9, but cannot take bad losses. That's the problem. Arizona State, that's another team with a bad loss. They lost by 30 against San Francisco. They need that one tonight against Arizona. If Arizona State beats their rival, they should be in for Arizona State. They don't have multiple bad losses like Clemson, but that bad loss against San Francisco just really just dampening them. San Jose State trying to be a bid stealer out in the Mountain West. They take on San Diego State tonight at 9:30. Vandy, another team that still needs to win the SEC tournament to get in, but their bubble. Vandy taking on Kentucky later tonight at 9. Hey, there we go. So tied for 20th. Wow. So up 30 spots on the leaderboard. Thanks so much for the update there. So looks like moving up. That's a good sign. I think when the tournament comes, the team that you don't want to bet against is Arkansas, and they're showing that right now. I just really hope Arkansas just doesn't get put up against like Houston or Kansas in the second round, as Arkansas is gonna be probably an 8 seed. Oh man, if you're Purdue, they might be a 7. All depends if Purdue gets the 1. Depending on how that goes with UCLA. But, yeah, if you're either a 1 or a 2 seed, watch out for Arkansas. Because they definitely got the talent to compete for that team. They're physical. And usually the officials award the more physical type of teams. They award them in those types of matchups by the refs when it comes to the tournament. UCLA has a key injury to one of their top defenders, Jalen Clark. I feel like for UCLA, because they're thinner now, that could be a tough matchup going up against Arkansas if things just click for the Hogs at the right time. And things looking like right now that they're doing great. That's a Texas A&M team that has been red hot. 38-25 Arkansas. Start of the second half. Yeah, Kent State looking to make it round 2 against Toledo. 24-14, Kent State leading Akron. Here we go, start of the second half. If you're new in the stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe, and here we go. Half number 2 of action. Iowa State with the basketball first. Lob down low. They catch it. They put it up, and they score plus the foul. Robert Jones and the one coming up at the free throw line to start off half number 2 for the Cyclones. Big response there to start off the second half. Kansas had a fast break slam dunk. Under 30 seconds left to go. They had all the momentum entering halftime, and Jones right there just receives the entry pass, puts it up, and scores. Nobody's going to lose by 105. Purdue right now is either a 1 or a 2 seed for Purdue. I should say Purdue should take care of business against Ohio State, but you don't know. Purdue should take care of business against St. Peter's, and how did that go last year? Yeah, of course, Purdue lost that game against St. Peter's. They had a chance to put them away in the Sweet 16, and they were unsuccessful. Nice pass swung down low once again. It is Robert Jones. Jones dribbles back out, passes over to Jaron Holmes. And it will be a tie-up on the floor between Iowa State and Kansas. McCullough forces the tie-up, possession arrow, Kansas. Been a physical type of matchup so far between these two teams. McCullough will now head towards the bench. DeJuan Harris swings it off the roll down. Floater inside the key, missed off the back rim, no good by KJ Adams. Defensive rebound hauled in for Iowa State. Cyclones have it with Tamin Lipsy. Lipsy inside the key, got stripped, got fouled. And a reach and fall assessed to Joseph Yesufu. Yeah, that's the funny part about it. And St. Peter's, they'll probably be in the 16 seed play-in game this year for them. That'd be funny if they make it in and then everybody starts picking St. Peter's to be like the 16 seed to beat Alabama in the first round. With all the news surrounding Alabama, they just make the pick, knowing like what's been going on in the news. Free throws, 1 for 2 at that trip at the free throw line for Iowa State by Jaron Holmes. 18.5 left to go. Kansas pass midcourt. Adams, one dribble. Kick out corner. Dick. Yet to make a 3 today. Swings it out to the right corner into the hands of Yesufu. Back on top to Jalen Wilson. Wilson with 15 of the 33 so far tonight. Wilson at the right wing, guarded by Robert Jones. Lost it. Turnover. 2-on-1 for Iowa State. Here they go. Driving, attacking right to the rim. They missed the layup. Lost it out of bounds to the baseline. They will go back to Kansas. Wow, Kansas is getting right back on fast break transition defense in a hurry to make sure that Iowa State wasn't awarded the easy 2. Like, once Wilson lost that, it looked like Iowa State right out of the pack would have scored 2. And, man, look at the hustle. DeJuan Harris right there, credit for that. As Tamin Lipsy dribbled it too high, lost it, and it went out of bounds of the baseline off Lipsy. Corner 3 off the mark by Kansas. 18 minutes left to go. Top of the key with Iowa State. Holmes settles for a 3 straight away. Wow, he hits that one. Rips it through by Jaron Holmes, up to 8 points. It's a 1-point game now. 17:51 left to go, and we got a game right now. 7-zip run by Iowa State. Jaron Holmes rips it right through the bottom for the triple. Yeah, Houston's really, really good this season. They played East Carolina played them tight in the first half, and Houston just came out in the second half and just crushed them. Saturday, hoping to do the Big 12 and Big 12 and ACC tournaments. Duke up over Miami 52-46. Penn State holding on to a lead over Northwestern 50-47. Texas A&M cutting into the lead by Arkansas 42-35 right now. Arkansas opened up the game against Auburn yesterday. We'll see if they can hang on, but Texas A&M down by double digits, only down by 7 currently. And UConn Marquette, that game's tied up at 60. And yeah, if you guys would like to stop on by for the next stream, feel free to do so. We are not done after this. I also plan on covering Texas against TCU later tonight. Winner of this game will take on the TCU Texas winner. Yep. Yeah, I remember that. I think they were like 34-0 for Wichita State, and then they lost against Kentucky in the second round. Kentucky was the 8th seed that knocked them out. Yeah, that 30-win Charleston team, that's the team that, like, I'm not too high upon. They haven't played anybody really good for that Charleston team. They take a bunch of threes, but they're just not efficient from three-point range. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if UAB wins tomorrow against Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic with 30 victories. UAB looks like a legitimate bid stealer, though. They split the season series earlier this year. We get back to action, 17.5 left to go. UAB has played a much, much tougher schedule than Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic 1-1 against SEC teams. They lost at Ole Miss, and then they won against Florida. Jumper at the wing is good by Grady Dick. That's his first made 3 of the game. Great response back from the timeout by Kansas. UAB had 2 victories by 14 points. I believe they were over Georgia and South Carolina. Still the bottom of the SEC, but they beat both of those teams by double digits, whereas Florida Atlantic just like squeaked by Florida. Double teamed at the baseline. Out to the top it goes for Jaron Holmes. Holmes with a 3 straight away, and he knocks it through. 3-point fest right now in this game with 16:45 left. Kansas at the edge of the logo. DeJuan Harris guarded by Tamin Lipsey. Harris pass over to Dick. Dick fall away. Oh, Grady Dick's getting hot right now. Grady Dick jumper from the mid-range towards his left, leaning, and he knocks it through for 2 more. 16.5 left to go. Iowa State Taman Lipsy at the right wing perimeter. Bounce pass, deflected to the corner, picked up by Trey King. King backs his way off a double team. Pass out to his right, now on top, into the hands to Holmes. 10 in the shot clock for Jaron Holmes. Holmes jacks up the 3. Off the rim, short. Battle for the rebound. Tie up in the floor. Possession arrow goes to Iowa State. Yep, playing Houston close last year for that UAB team. And, yeah, they're going to be a problem, whoever gets them, if they come out of their conference. They're going to take somebody's bid. Somebody in the playing game. Clemson. Wisconsin, definitely. Nevada. It's going to be a lot of pressure on that playing team. Arizona State can make things better for them tonight if they beat their rival Arizona. We head to the timeout right now. 38-35 to score. 15:58 left to go. 3-point lead for Kansas. Yeah, UIB is littered with seniors on that team. Jordan Jelly Walker, he missed 3 games this season too, I believe. So he missed a little bit of the season at the start of conference play for him. And he's the top scorer on the team. He's putting up, I believe, above 20 points per game this season. Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw that. Begins at midnight. That's a monster game there. Boise State and Utah State. That's like... I know these games like win and in type games from like years prior in the conference tournaments. They've been just so massive when there's been a win and in type games that if you win that game, you're probably in the bracket. Kind of like the Michigan-Rutgers game. Michigan would have had to win more games. They would have kept on continuing. But there's been games prior. It's been like a matchup in that quarterfinal rounds. Whereas like both of these teams are on the bubble. You win that game, you're in. The other team gets knocked out. We've seen that before. And that could be the case tonight for that game between Boise State and Utah State. So that game tips off at midnight. Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule right now, and that game isn't even on the Friday night schedule. Wow, that's wild. They put that on the Saturday schedule, even though it's played at midnight tonight. Yeah, so late. So late for those Mountain and West teams staying up. Hey, there you go, going out to Tennessee late in March. Best of luck there for Renee. Mario, welcome back. Having tacos, looks like, and lemon ice cream. That sounds good. Kevin McCullough currently on the bench being treated to with an ice pack on his bench right now for Kevin McCullough. So McCullough on the bench with an ice pack to his back. He's yet to check into the game for a little bit, so we'll keep on tracking that. By the way, Jordan Jelly Walker, one of the top scorers in the nation for UAB. He's averaging 23.4 points per game. They have 2 players in their team that average above 4 assists per game. Jordan Walker, and then Eric Gaines, a transfer from LSU. So what's been the big key of some of these mid-major teams has been the Power 5 transfers. Connor Vanover from Arkansas now playing for Oral Roberts, and then Eric Gaines comes over from LSU to play for UAB. Bucket down low off the inbound is a basket for Iowa State. Grady Dick on the floor with Jalen Wilson, DeJuan Harris, KJ Adams, and Joseph Yesufu. Wilson double-teamed to the baseline out to the top. Harris decided not to take the 3. Handoff, Wilson turns the corner, drives down the lane with the left hand, missed off the glass, and a defensive rebound hauled down by Kalsher. Iowa State has the ball approaching the 15-minute mark left to go. Jaron Holmes at the left wing, guarded by Adams. Holmes lobs it over to Oshuni, double teamed, swings it over to a cutter. They try to stay in bounds. They will. Kick out to the corner to Gabe Kalsher. Kalsher inside the key, looking for the lead for Iowa State. No good. Alter by Grady Dick. And the defensive rebound hauled in by KJ Adams. Iowa State all game long, they've been hanging in there against Kansas. No Caleb Grill, number 3 player on the team. No problem for Iowa State, able to sweep Baylor this season. Dick. Loose ball, able to pick it up. Bounce pass, Yesufu missed the mark of the pass. It's out of bounds of the turnover by Kansas. Wow, tough turnover right there. It's going to go back to Iowa State. By the way, that UAB team has 10 upper-class players on the roster. 6 seniors, 4 juniors. Missed layup by Iowa State at the rim. They look to push it for Kansas. Jalen Wilson lost it as they had a 3-on-2. Here's a steal. Iowa State blocked from behind by Wilson, but he gets called in the blocking foul. 2 free throws coming up. 14:21 left to play. This game, and then after this game will be Texas TCU around 9:30. So feel free to join in for Texas versus TCU later today. Two shots at the free throw line. First one's good for Iowa State. They have a chance to take the lead coming up here. Haven't said that today. Largest lead, Kansas by 9. Yeah, no problem. Thanks so much for joining in, Renee. Second free throw is good. This is the first lead tonight now for the Cyclones. Kansas stone cold in the second half. Iowa State outscoring Kansas 10-5. Dick at the wing. Dick high arcing 3. Missed off the back rim. Battle for the rebound. Offensive rebound, Wilson. Wilson into the key. Puts it up and gets fouled. And Jalen Wilson now will shoot 2 coming up at the free throw line with 14:03 left. This has just become a competitive nature type of game. This Iowa State team not backing down to the challenge tonight. First free throw, Wilson makes it. Wow. Hey, thanks so much for the update there. Penn State Northwestern, 54 apiece with 1:33 left. Second free throw. That's good by Wilson. Kansas takes the lead right back. What a game. 14 minutes left to play. Jalen Wilson up to 17. Lone player in double figures tonight for Kansas. Iowa State with the ball. Aljaz Kuntz hands it off to Kalsher. Kalsher moves it on top into the hands of Holmes. Holmes dribbles up to the mid-block, passes out left corner. Watson back outside, it goes to Holmes. 8 in the shot clock. Holmes guarded by Pettiford at the left wing. Holmes dribbles, floats it up off the glass, no good. Grady Dick soars up, and he corrals the defensive rebound. Harris up the floor. 13.5 left to go for Kansas. 1-point lead. Harris guarded around the outside by Demarion Watson. Gets past him, turns the corner, floats at the runner. Juwan Harris drops it through for 2. Just doing it all himself right there for Juwan. Just so high Q with his basketball knowledge for that dude. Floor general sees that he's on a big around the perimeter. Able to just use his speed to turn the corner, get past the big man Watson, and float up the mid-range runner to drop down. Jaron Holmes, bounce pass over to Oshuni. Oshuni powers his way inside the low post. Oshuni puts it up, and Oshuni called in the travel. Turnover by Iowa State. $12:51 left to go right now. Iowa State with a 14-9 second half advantage. Kansas, couple big buckets, able to take the lead right back. Juwan Harris, 6 points tonight. 3 for 3 from the floor. He's great with his shot selection. Like, whenever he's left out in the open, he will take it and he will drill it. Low-key efficient. Nice pass down low. They decided not to take the bucket out to the corner off the fingertips of Grady Dick. It's a turnover. Kansas passed a wide-open dunk at the rim with Ernest Uday, and instead swung it out to Grady Dick, who lost it out of bounds as he was wide open at the left corner. 12:30 left to go. Iowa State with the ball. They almost lost it. They do. Juwan Harris comes up with a steal. Far side of the floor. They got numbers. 4-on-2 for Kansas. Pass to the corner off the fingertips of Dick, able to save it. Dick drives baseline, triple teamed, contacted, and he gets fouled. 2 shots coming up at the free throw line now for Grady Dick. They've had 2 opportunities for Kansas to score. They missed the fast break opportunity right there. The pass was a little bit too wide for Dick. Grady Dick will shoot 2 at the free throw line. 12-14 remaining. If you're new in the stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe here. I cover basketball action on the channel, play-by-play, college hoops, also NBA games as well. First free throw is good. Hit us up in the chat, by the way, who you're rooting for tonight in this game, Kansas or Iowa State. Second free throw is good by Dick. 5-point lead for Kansas. Grady Dick will check out of the game now for Kansas. He's got 9 tonight. And Northwestern going into overtime against Penn State. 12 minutes left to go, approaching the mark. Iowa State with the ball. Dribble drive right down the lane inside. Blocked by Uday. They get another chance, though, to put it up and score for the Cyclones. +1 coming up at the free throw line. Iowa State getting going right now. They are pumped up. That's Taman Lipsy attacking. Got it blocked, but a major putback from behind by Hasten Ward, number 24, off the putback. Physicality keeping Iowa State right in this game. By the way, major loss for Miami. Norchad Omier, the top rebounder in the team. He's averaging a double-double. Left the game due to an ankle injury. Looked like it was a pretty severe injury. So, Norchad Omier out for the rest of the Duke versus Miami game. Right now, Duke has the lead. Free throw was missed at the line for Iowa State. Kansas with the ball. Harris, lob, backdoor, two-handed throwdown for the alley-oop jam by Ernest Uday Jr. Major throwdown right there as he's on the scoreboard. And a steal. Out in the open, Uday attacking right to the rim, missed. Off the fingertips of Harris, though. It got knocked out of bounds. It will be Iowa State ball. Harris had a chance to clean it up from behind, but him and Uday collide a little bit together. They show the replay right there. Juwan Harris, just a thing of beauty on that pass to Ernest. Right at the rim, soaring up for the alley-oop jam, bringing the explosiveness. Kansas has a 5-point lead as we enter the timeout. 11:26 left to go. Man, what a game tonight. It's been physical, big boy type of basketball on the floor. Been a really good matchup. Duke leading by 5, 60-55 over Miami. So, Miami not quitting right now. Despite losing Norchad Omier, he's averaging 14 and 10. He's the number 3 scorer and the top rebounder on the team, and that's a tough loss. After that, Jordan Miller, 6'6" guard, is the number 2 rebounder, averaging above 6 rebounds per game for Miami. But if Norchad Omier misses time, they didn't have much size to begin with. He's 6'7". He's the top rebounder. After that, Miller's 6'6". But still, they just don't have much depth in the front court for Miami, and that is a major, major issue for that team moving forward. If Norchad Omier, if that injury is serious and he has to miss time. They got a couple other players in the front court, 6'9", but not much playing time. Anthony Walker, AJ Casey. They have a 7-foot center that's barely played with Favor Air. So they're very thin in the front court. That's an issue moving forward. I'm kind of shocked to see that Duke hasn't opened up that game and blew them out right now. It's now a 3-point game, 60-57. Duke with a lead. Jason, welcome in. Thanks so much for joining in, man. Make sure to join on the Behind Their Basketball Bracket Challenge if you guys are interested in joining the Bracket Challenge group once again. And this is the first stream out of 2 tonight, part of a doubleheader. Feel free to join in for Texas versus TCU later tonight, as the winner of this game will take on Texas TCU. And make sure to hit that thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content tonight. Quick update on the scoreboard currently, since we're on the timeout here. Marquette leading UConn. Tight game, under 2 minutes left to go. 70-63. Marquette has a 2-point lead. Texas A&M down by double digits. They have climbed out of the hole. They have just taken the lead. Wow. Texas A&M, one of the hottest teams in all college basketball. Last 2 months, they lead 48-47 over Arkansas. They were getting blown out earlier. It was 29-17 at one point in that game. Memphis, UCF, that game is close. 58-55. Memphis only has a 3-point lead. Penn State in overtime against Northwestern right now. Penn State 60, Northwestern 58. 3 minutes left to go in OT. Duke has a 5-point lead over Miami, 62-57. And in this game right now, we have 11:26 left to go. Kansas 46-41. Juwan Harris with an assist right before the timeout. It was a two-handed jam on the alley-oop by Ernest Uday Jr. It was a strong start for Kansas because of Jalen Wilson. Jalen Wilson had 13 points at one point when Iowa State had 11 on the scoreboard, though. He's only had 4 points ever since. 17 points still for Wilson, the top scorer tonight. He does have 5 committed turnovers, though. Both of these teams have turned it over quite a bit. 12 total turnovers by Kansas tonight compared to 16 by Iowa State. Free throws at the line as we get back to action. Ernest Uday Jr. shooting 2 for Kansas. The first one's good. Quick update in the foul trouble. Aljaz Kuntz with 3 personal fouls for Iowa State. Everybody else with 2, 1, or 0. 3 personal fouls by Jalen Wilson for Kansas. Everybody else with 2, 1, or 0. Second free throw is good. That's allowed Uday to get more playing time, and he's brought the energy. Iowa State with the ball. 11:15 left to go. Jaron Holmes receives it on top from the pass by Lipsy. Holmes takes a 3, missed off the back rim, and Juwan Harris, the smallest player on the floor, soars up and grabs the defensive rebound. Harris passes out to his right. MJ Rice back outside of Harris. Lobs it down to the low block. Adams double teamed. Adams stays in bounds. Shovels over to Rice. Rice had it blocked. Loose ball. Scooped up in the key. Battle for it as there's a tie up on the floor. Possession arrow. Kansas. So great hustle right there by MJ Rice. Able to come up with a loose ball inside the Keel State Kansas ball. Let's get that slow mode hype in the chat, everybody. We got 8 seconds of slow mode hype out in the chat right there. So let's get that slow mode hype out in the chat, everyone. 10:41 left to go. 6 in the shot clock. Kansas will have the inbound. Harris passes far side of the floor, deflected out. Last touch by the Cyclones. Kansas will get the inbound. Lob goes down low. KJ Adams passes over to a cutter. Try to throw down the poster. There was contact, though, and a foul. And this will be 2 shots coming up at the line once again by Ernest Uday Jr. Or did he miss it? 1 second here. Check it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's on the shot. Oh, wow. Did they give him jump ball? Yeah, shot clock was winding down. Let's see on the replay here. Okay, that's shot clock violation. wow, the officials have ruled it shot clock violation instead of a blocking foul. The shot clock was winding down. Officials said that Iowa State did not commit a shooting foul there. Defending Ernest Uday Jr. He was trying to throw down a poster, like a two-handed jam, cutting straight line to the hoop and couldn't get it off in time. Wow, there's a lot of contact there with Ashuni. Trying to go up for that slam dunk. Ashuni, the one who was defending Uday. Uday was determined to just throw it down right over Ashuni. 10:35 left to go. So the referees have looked at this at the monitor. And, okay, they have reversed it. Okay, so that's what I thought. So they have resulted shooting foul picked up by Ashuni of Iowa State. And this will be 2 free throws at the line for Kansas with Ernest Uday Jr. He has brought the energy coming off the bench. First one he missed, though, at the line. Wow, Marquette with a big win today. That's huge for Marquette. Huge win for Marquette. Second free throw missed at the line for Uday. Big win for Marquette. 10:30 left to go. Yeah, that Marquette team, they just seem different this season. They seem much, much different than previous years. I was a little bit concerned with them yesterday against St. John's, and now going back to it, they have played St. John's 3 times this season. Put-back dunk by Iowa State. 5-point game. Throwing it down with Ashuni off the putback. He has 8 points, 5 rebounds. 10 minutes left to go. Yeah, that's a St. John's team that can compete right with Marquette. St. John's has a high-flying offense themselves. And, wow, that's impressive. Marquette winning by 2 against UConn. And what looked like, because I kept on checking the score about that, that game was close all throughout. Like, there was no, like, wide margin in that game. That was between a 1 or a 2 possession game. That basically the whole game between Marquette and UConn today. Kansas just turned it over. This game has been so many turnovers in it. Turnover City, 13 turnovers by Iowa State, or 13 turnovers by Kansas, 16 by Iowa State. Jalen Wilson, despite having a strong start, 17 points. He has turned it over 5 times today. Iowa State couldn't finish at the rim. 5-point lead for Kansas, 9:20 left to go. Wilson passes off to Harris around the perimeter. Harris, edge of the midcourt logo. Harris dribbles up, attacks inside the paint, swings it over to the wing to Dick. Dick drives inside, puts it off the glass. He scores, plus the foul. Big time call right there by the refs. Grady Dick and the one coming up at the free throw line. And that's one of those calls that could go either way, but Grady Dick able to get the benefit of the call by the officials. Iowa State trying to take the charge with Ashuni. And Ashuni picks up personal foul number 2. Grady Dick exploding in the second half. He's got 12 as he makes the free throw. 51-43. Big call that went in the favor of Rock Chalk. 9 minutes left to go. Iowa State has possession. Ashuni hands it off to his St. Bonaventure teammate, now at Iowa State, Jaron Holmes. Ashuni off the roll down, floats it up, missed off the back rim, and Kansas taking over with their physicality. Ernest Uday Jr. comes out with a strong defensive board. Here goes Kansas, slowing it down, playing their style of game. DeJuan Harris at the midcourt logo. 8:35 left to go. Harris pass off to Wilson. Wilson double teamed at the mid block. Wilson pivot, puts it up, fouled. Oh no, he's called in a travel. Turnover number 6. So Wilson, too many steps before he tried to float it up. And there was contact from the side, but the referees say before he got contacted into the shooting motion, he had traveled with it. So turnover by Kansas. That's now turnover number 14. And that's number 6 tonight by Wilson. 8:20 left to go. Iowa State with the ball, Robert Jones. Jones at the wing, looking to see if he can get his teammates involved. Bounce pass mid-block. King, jumper, turnaround, missed off the rim. Back it goes to Wilson, and Kansas will slow it down. This has been just championship identity defense this season for the Kansas Jayhawks. And we've seen this time and time again, especially when the game is under 2 minutes left to go. This team is just locked and focused. Jumper at the corner. Missed the three by Grady Dick. That would have sent their whole bench and the whole arena down for the most part here in Kansas City if Grady Dick drills that three. He has been massive in the second half. Kalsher been silent. Attacking to the rim, though. Wide open by Kalsher, and he scores. 6-point game. They're just hanging in there. Gabe Kalsher up to 8. Gabe Kalsher put on a show yesterday in the victory over Baylor. Wilson gets the handoff towards his right around the perimeter. Wilson moves it at the top into the hands to KJ Adams. Adams passes it over to his left to Juwan Harris. Harris bounce pass over to the cutter. Dick blocked. Follow. Oh, it's good. That was a thing of beauty. Jalen Wilson with a follow through for 2. 53-45. They should give the assist there to Juwan Harris. He passed over to Dick. Dick off the cutter. Missed the backdoor layup, but it went off the glass, and then Jalen Wilson just trailed right from behind, able to get the follow-through for 2. Turnaround hook, bank. Robert Jones with a bank, up and in off the glass. Hanging in for Iowa State. This is a tough, gritty, physical type of team. King Markey, thanks so much for joining in again. Missed shot by Kansas. Harris went down. Putback opportunity. Wilson gets fouled. So 2 free throws coming up by Kansas. 6:28 left to go. What a matchup here. 53-47, Big 12 tournament semifinals. Winner of this game will take on the winner of TCU versus Texas coming up next. Feel free to join in. For my next stream, I'll be covering TCU versus Texas later tonight if you guys would like to come on board. We have 6:28 remaining, so still a lot of game left to go. Warren, welcome back in. Quick update, scoreboard update right now. Penn State Northwestern. We'll keep you guys updated going down to the wire. Penn State leading by 3, 67-64 with 7 seconds left to play. Duke, 1-point lead. Miami's hanging in with Norchad Omier, even though he left the game. The top rebounder in the team, 66-65 Duke, with about 6 minutes left to go. Texas A&M coming from behind, leading Arkansas now, 56-53. Texas A&M is going to be a tough team to match up against. That team, if you're not a deep team in the bracket, watch out for Texas A&M because they go to the free throw line more than anybody else in the nation. They're just going to wear you down. They're going to attack, and try to put you into foul trouble as much as possible. That's a physical team there. They love to create chaos on the floor for Texas A&M. They pressure you, they pressure the ball, and they get to the rim and constantly just try to just attack downhill right at you and be the aggressor. And man, Texas A&M, they have flipped the script second half. Texas A&M just scored again. They lead at 58-53 over Arkansas. Kent State up over Akron 38-34. And then Memphis leading UCF 67-61. Penn State definitely a lock right now in the bracket. No shocker there. Penn State has knocked off Northwestern 67-65, so that game has just gone final. Overtime win for Penn State. Welcome to the tournament for Penn State. State College rocking. Back as a basketball team in the bracket. That is monster. Usually when you think about basketball, you don't think about Penn State. That's a monster win for them. Puts them directly in the bracket. So you can lock it in now that there is no Penn State versus Pitt first round playing game. That's not happening. Penn State, back-to-back nights, wins over Illinois and now Northwestern. Yep, the 13 and the 10 seed. And Penn State's getting hot. They're making a run. That team, That team's one of the best three-point shooting teams in the nation for Penn State. That team is live and die by the three. If you don't know how to defend the perimeter, good luck against that team. Warren with a dono. Let's get that dono hype out on the stream here. Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it. Jalen Pickett's one of the top playmakers in the country for Penn State. When am I on again? About a half an hour from now. TCU versus Texas around 9:30. So after the conclusion of this game, probably like a 15-20 minute break, and then we're back later tonight. TCU versus Texas for the second semifinal. Second free throw is good by Jalen Wilson. So Wilson coming out of the timeout makes them both. 8-point lead, 6.5 left to go. Iowa State with the ball. Turnover's been a major issue tonight. 16 total turnovers by the Cyclones. Gabe Kalsher turns the corner. Dribble drive, lost it. Turnover number 17. Here goes Kansas. 4-on-2 on the fast break. Dick, bounce pass. Ahead of the pack. Layup. It's made by Joseph Yesufu for Kansas. Largest lead of the game now for the Jayhawks. 6 minutes left to go. And Iowa State will burn the timeouts. 2 points off the turnover on the fast break. 17 turnovers tonight by the Cyclones. Just crushing. Crushing if they were hanging on in this game, and you cannot turn it over that many times if you want to compete at a high level. Especially against this Kansas team. They're just so fluid out in transition. This Kansas team, so good. So good under head coach Bill Self. And Bill Self is not there this weekend. Sending my prayers and thoughts out to him, to make a full recovery. And this Kansas squad, they got just so many leaders on this team. Like, every single game, every single team's just gunning for them because they're at the top of the nation. Defending champions. They should be the overall number 1 seed. They got more quad 1 victories than any team in all college hoops this year. And so many leaders on this team, which makes them special. And they've been clutch. Last 2 minutes of these games, they've had championship identity defense. 5:45 left to go. Iowa State down by 10. We'll see how they respond right now with their largest deficit. That's been the big key in a lot of these games, tournament style. Iowa State here to play. Wow, what a response. Jaron Holmes downhill right to the rim, scores the layup plus the foul. What a response for Iowa State, just not hanging down, responding in a big way to get themselves winning at least 8. Oh yeah, man. Big Blue is super hot. They're going to give a better seed a run for its money in round 2. I would love to see Kentucky take on Purdue in the second round. That would be a sight to see. Big O against Edey. Oh, man. Grab the popcorn for that one. I think Kentucky probably is going to move up to a 6, though, so they'll most likely avoid that matchup with Purdue because Purdue would either be a 1 or a 2, whereas Kentucky would draw a 3. It'd be interesting to see who they get, but Kansas State would be a great draw for you guys because Kansas State's in trouble. They got a lot of turnover issues for them. They got, by this part of the season, they've got 2 really high-usage guys, Marquise Noel and Keontae Johnson, and minutes could start to take a toll. From yesterday, they turned it over a ton. Under 5 minutes left to go. Jones floats up a shot, tough shot, missed off the rim, gets his own rebound back. Pass deflected, kept alive though by Iowa State. Down by 9, they float up the runner at the right block. We got a whistle. The clock will stop with 4:41 as picked up by Kansas here in the foul. And that's going to be number 6 as a team for Kansas. Iowa State's got 7. Iowa State just hanging in. Kalsher, open three. Not going to count it, though. He made the three. But an illegal screen set by Iowa State results in the turnover. Personal foul number 8 picked up in the second half by the Cyclones. And that foul is committed by Robert Jones. They got deep foul trouble as well. Nobody with 4, but multiple players with 3 for Iowa State. Robert Jones, Trey King, Aljaz Kuntz, and Ashuna Shuni. 4:20 left to go. Adams, kick out, corner. Grady Dick, up fake, floats up the runner. Dick called an offensive foul. He runs over Aljaz Kuntz. Iowa State just taking these charges. They've taken multiple ones for the team. I like their physicality for this team. Really like their physicality for Iowa State, how they're just hanging in this game. They're tough and physical. Their offense just is like a full grind. That shot missed off the front rim by Kalsher. Here goes Wilson, shoots right out of a cannon. Kick out to the wing to Harris. Out on top, 3-point shot. Skipped around the rim and out. Missed by Yesufu. Rebounded by Iowa State. 3:45 left to go. They need urgency for their offense to get winning a couple more possessions. Kalsher missed the 3 at a great look. Missed off the back rim. Offensive rebound, though. Tracked down by Lipsy. Lipsy attacks. His dump off down low. Saved at the baseline, and it wasn't. They stepped out of bounds with it. Turnover again by Iowa State. Just out of control right there with the basketball, and then we'll go back to Kansas with 3:28. So timeout taken on the floor as we head to the media timeout right now. 59-50, 3.5 minutes left to play. Porter, welcome in. After this, I plan on covering Texas against TCU. So feel free to stop on by for Texas versus TCU. Tomorrow, I'm hoping to cover the Big 12 and the ACC Tournament Championships. And then Sunday, hoping to cover SEC, Big 10, and Selection Sunday. So multiple streams upcoming this weekend. Yeah, really good draw there for PC if they get Northwestern in the bracket. Northwestern's pumped up too much. Yeah, these Big Ten schools are just... I think we're figuring out that this, once again, the definition of overrated when you got Ohio State has a 13 seed making it all the way right now to the semifinals tomorrow, taking on the 1 Purdue. And it shouldn't be that Ohio State's hot right now. It's just the other teams are just taking it too lightly. Just taking Ohio State just too lightly right now. So these are the scores that we got currently. Duke leading Miami 73-69, under 4 minutes left to play. Texas A&M leading Arkansas 61-55. Memphis up over UCF 73-65. Kent State focused on Toledo tomorrow 49-39. Kent State with under 17 left. Games upcoming at the top of the hour. Oregon taking on UCLA. Oregon will need to win that one to have any chance for the bracket. Creighton, Xavier. That should be a great game tonight. Xavier going down to the wire last night against DePaul. Vandy, Kentucky. Vandy, red hot. I believe they won their last 8 out of 9. Vanderbilt will have to win the SEC tournament to get in. Sam Houston taking on Grand Canyon in the WAC semis later today. That'll tip off top of the hour. Maryland, Indiana. That's an interesting matchup right there. That'll tip off any minute from now. And we'll be back for TCU versus Texas later tonight after the conclusion of this game. Winner of tonight's game will take on Texas or TCU tomorrow night in the Big 12 Tournament Championship. If you're new in the stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're back from the timeout. Kansas with it. 3:10 left to go. KJ Adams moves out to his left into the hands of Grady Dick. Dick catch and fire three. Puts it through for the triple. Grady Dick coming out in the second half, drilling threes. 62-50, largest lead of the game for the five-star freshman. He's up to 15 points now, making his second three tonight. Iowa State jumper and the key, and Robert Jones got fouled. It's picked up by KJ Adams in the shooting foul, and this will send Jones to the line shooting two. I don't think the score at all on the scoreboard indicates how well Iowa State's played right with Kansas in terms of physicality tonight in this game. If they just cut back on the turnovers, this will be a different ball game right now. Iowa State's just giving this one away to Kansas because of multiple turnovers tonight. Second free throw is good. 62-52. Kansas will get the inbound. Dick, pressured in the backcourt, jumped the route, intercepted by Iowa State. They couldn't track it down, though, as it went out of bounds by Tamin Lipsey. Great hustle there by the youngster. He's not able to track it down, though. Iowa State's probably going to pressure Kansas throughout the rest of the game, see if they can force turnovers to cut the deficit. Right there, Kansas right past midcourt, big collision. And it's rolled a foul by Gabe Kalsher. Wow. They've taken a couple charges in this game. Kalsher, reaching in right on the Wilson. Kalsher wasn't set properly. So Wilson will head to the free throw line, shooting the bonus. 1-1 now for Kansas. First one's good. Perfect 5 for 5 now tonight. Good times. Welcome on the stream. Second one's good. 8-point lead. 2:30 left to go. Iowa State down by 12. Cyclones with a possession past midcourt with Jaron Holmes. Holmes dribbles up to the elbow, swings it out to the right corner. Kuntz passes down low. Robert Jones bounce past Kuntz in right corner. Back on top. Holmes catch and fire three from the top. Missed off the top of the key. Offensive rebound. Put back. Robert Jones couldn't finish at the rim. Gets his own rebound back and he scores again though. Back to 10. Kansas though always with an answer. And time just keeps on ticking off the clock. 2 minutes left to go. Wilson. As they will slow down the possession for Kansas. Tawan Harris. As Iowa State picks up a reach and fall assessed to Tamin Lipsey, reaching in guarding Harris. So Harris is only a 61% free throw shooter at the line. They're going to see if they can hack him here, but he's guaranteed 2 free throws now. So 2 free throws. So we'll see if this works out in the favor of Iowa State. Kansas has got at least half of the points per possession right there as they make the first free throw. Second free throw is good. So the gamble was not good for Iowa State as Harris drills them both. Tawan Harris tonight up to 8 total points, 6 assists, 2 steals. Jumper for a deep 2, swoosh by Iowa State. Jaron Holmes makes it. 10-point lead once again, minute 45 left to go. Timeout taken on the floor by Iowa State. All right, feel free to join in for the next game afterwards. I'll be covering Texas versus TCU later tonight. Battle of Texas, if you guys would like to come on board for that game. If Kansas holds on, they'll take on the winner of TCU versus Texas tomorrow night at 6 p.m. And also, I plan on covering the Big 12 Tournament Championship tomorrow. I'm going to be out most of the day on Saturday. I'm at a concert around 2 p.m., but it's around a half an hour north. I should be back in time for that 6 o'clock stream. If not, I'll join in progress once I get back home. I know for sure I'll be back in time for the 8:30 ACC one. If you guys are interested, feel free to join the Behind Your Basketball Bracket Challenge group. That link is posted in the chat. It's pinned to the chat as well if anybody's interested. We got 1:44 left to play. Kansas with an inbound 2-on-1. KJ Adams dribbles back outside. They will use clock time here for Kansas. The ball goes into the hands of Harris. Harris just got fouled and made both of the free throws and now forces Kuntz to pick up another personal with 1:35 left. So 1:35 left to go. 2 free throws coming up at the line for DeJuan Harris, and Aljaz Kuntz picks up his 4th personal foul. So he had missed his first 2 shots at the line. He's made the previous 2, and Harris, when the game's on the line, he just keeps on making them. First one is good here. Second one by Harris, right down the middle. I mean, you cannot get a better leader than this in all college hoops with DeJuan Harris. Iowa State hung in. No Bill Self tonight. And yet Kansas, with so many leaders on this team, just able to just stay in the game as Iowa State commits a travel in their backcourt with 1:19 left. Yesterday was a bad stream for turnovers. Tonight's been a bad stream for turnovers. And what's just pounding these teams out of the conference tournament has been turnovers. 20th turnover to game by Iowa State. Oklahoma State struggled yesterday with turnovers. Kansas State severely struggled. And here's Iowa State with 20. Wilson, 1:05 left to go. Turned it over. 17 turnover. Oh, no, he didn't. Harris able to save it off the pass by Wilson. That looked like it was going the other way. 55 seconds left to go. 20 in the shot clock. Kansas by 12. Iowa State not going to foul. Wilson passes it over to KJ Adams. Over to Yesufu. The crowd starting to get onto his feet here in Kansas City as Kansas will go back to another Big 12 Tournament Championship game. Jalen Wilson with an exclamation point to that. Downhill at the rim, he scores 2 more on the board for KU. Jalen Wilson tonight with 25 points and 10 rebounds. 14-point lead for Kansas down to the final 30 seconds. Make sure to join in about 30 minutes from now. I'll be back in the call for Texas versus TCU. Kansas will take on the winner of that game tomorrow night, 6 p.m. in the Big 12 Tournament Championship. Iowa State fouled DeJuan Harris. Harris at the free throw line. Missed the first one. Jalen Wilson, 25 points, 10 rebounds. He was the starter for this game. Also the closer with some big shots late. 15 points by Grady Dick. Dick came in, and he had a monstrous second half for Grady Dick. 10 points by DeJuan Harris, along with 6 assists and 4 steals. They had 3 players with at least 3 steals today in this game. Jalen Wilson, Grady Dick, and DeJuan Harris, the top 3 players tonight. Their trio showing up in a big way. Yes, Iowa State's in the tournament, so they're projected probably as. It's going to be interesting to see what seed they are for Iowa State because of the losses that they've suffered recently. If they're going to be a 5 seed or a 6 seed or a 7. Honestly, I think the best bet for Iowa State would be to take a 6 seed for them or a 7 seed, honestly, for Iowa State because there's been some leaky 3s and 2s. Right now, the 12s, unless you draw VCU, the 12s are lethal. There's some dangerous 12s. Oral Roberts, Drake. If UAB beats Florida Atlantic, they're probably going to draw a 12. Some of these 12s look really good. That's the classic 12-5 matchup. It's been happening a lot lately. All right, so we wrap up here in this one. Iowa State with a late basket to pull one in 13, but this game has just gone final, everybody. 71-58, the final score. As this one is just wrapped up in Kansas back to the Big 12 Tournament Championship. Once again, they'll take on the winner of Texas versus TCU as we will be back in about a half an hour from now. So we're going to close out on this one. Thanks so much all for joining in. We're going to wrap up to the channel members. All channel members get a shout out here at the after each and every single one of my live streams that I do cover. As we got Jason, Rajeep, Russell, Oreo Pudding, Bradley, Braden, Mario, Bino, Mark, John, Kenneth, Jess, Ahino, Josa, Vegas, HD Sports Talk, Michael, Warren, I Am Ghost, Kelly, Asia, Laszlo, Roderick, Reynaldo, Didi, Katie, Barco, Siegel, Woopig, Ian, Oink Oink, Emmanuel, and Robin. We'll be back in around 30 minutes from now, probably around 9:40 p.m. Tip-off time will be approximately around that time for Texas versus TCU. So I'll be back for that game, the 2 versus 6 upcoming. Thanks so much all for joining in. Kansas with a victory, 71-58 over Iowa State. Feel free to join in for game number 2 coming up in about a half hour from now.